Hi scholars, if you saw the last video, you learned a little bit about the 4 types of learning styles. And those are visual, auditory, reading/writing, and kinesthetic. In this video, I wanted to take some time to build off of that knowledge and tell you about some ways to study and learn that may engage the specific learning styles. Now, one thing I want to note is that the styles are more of a preference. Everyone uses multiple ways to learn, but certain people gravitate towards one style over another. So that means that everyone can and should use different methods to learn and engage with the material. Using a combination will help you to remember. For this video specifically, I am going to categorize the different methods to make the video flow, but anyone can use any style. So the first style that I will start with is visual. So ways to help a visual learner include finding or creating charts or diagrams for yourself, drawing out examples to reference in the future, or try to find videos or pictures of what you are learning or attempting to do. It may also be helpful for you to color code your notes, use different types of pens, or use different fonts. Also, play around with the types of note style that you use. So you might use Cornell notes or charting, maybe outlining, or even boxing. The next style is auditory. So ways to help are to listen to the videos or presentations, maybe record yourself reading over your notes so you can hear them back when you want in the future. Using text-to-speech can be a helpful tool to use as well. It can also help to create jingles for yourself that will help you to remember the information or make an acronym. And remember to ask questions. For those of you who are reading/writing preference, it is helpful to look for key points and scan the book before you read. Then ask yourself questions to look for while you're reading, and then read the passage in its entirety. Once you read something, write everything that you remember down. That way you can read over it and see what you missed, what you remember and retained, so then you know what specifically you might need to focus on more. Another fun way to learn is to write a story or create an acronym with the key information. So if you learned various names, write a story about those people, maybe incorporate the dates that you learned, that way you remember and you can be creative. The fourth learning style is kinesthetic. So these are people who like to have hands-on, real tactile experiences. So it may be helpful to try what you are doing or act something out. So if you're learning maybe how to make baskets, maybe try to actually make one. Even if you don't have this material with you, maybe imagine it out, act it out, pretend. If you are reading a historical speech, you can stand and pretend to deliver the speech. That way you can remember what it felt like and remember what you were saying in the future. You can also create a game for yourself, whether it's trivia or a board game that you like, that you adapted to incorporate the information you learned. Just like visual learners, it can be helpful to draw and create flashcards as well. So those are the 4 learning styles, but something that's important for all the learning styles is to test yourself. Whether it's a written test that you find or create, or if you have someone ask you questions in person, this will help you to see where you need more practice, but it also highlights what you know. Now, a lot of these techniques that I've shared can be done alone, but learning can and should be a collaborative as well. So some things that people can do together are to have discussions, maybe take turns teaching one another or even teach your pet, as well as play the games that you create with another person, whether it's someone in the class or just your family members or a friend that you want to share what you created with. If you make learning fun, you will have an increased chance of remembering the information in the future. And lastly, I will close with a bonus tip, and that is if you can change your setting when you learn, that can be very helpful. This helps your brain to remember things because it remembers where you were. So maybe you read outside, but then you do your math at a desk, and maybe you do English sitting on the other side of the desk or from your kitchen table. And also make sure to take breaks to refresh your brain between studying. Your brain learns much better when you have breaks and it has time to categorize information rather than cramming in one night. So this is going to be the end of this video, but thank you for taking the time to watch the video in its entirety, And I hope you learned something new and that you can use one or two of these methods in the future